Welcome back, everyone. I got a new workflow update for the Roda Reactive Audio Pack. We're now up to version 5. On the live show last night, we added a whole bunch of new workflows. So first of all, I want to say thank you very much to Ryaontheinside, because without his nodes, none of these workflows would exist.
If you don't want to miss my next video, hit that subscribe button, because YouTube ain't going to tell you.
I've essentially extended and adapted a bunch of modifications I made to some of his example workflows, and then we've combined them with his flex pipeline. So let's take a look at what we've got for you. You probably already saw the reactive depth workflow that was in a previous release. So essentially that's going to give you all reactive depth estimation, okay, using the depth flow mod. So some of these use additional nodes, but it'll find them in the manager, and more than often there's a segment or video segment sort of syncing thing going on, so that, you know, in the case of video, you'll be able to actually, you know, well, you'll see. So reactive depth is one of them. One that we added last night was the bars overlay. So this one is going to be having, again, you've got the audio segment and the video segments. You set that to 0 and 0, load your audio file, load your video file. Sometimes there's a frame rate selection as well. And then, so this is obviously going to do 1 second of audio and then 24 frames. So at 24 frames per second, that will be all kept into sync. And this one has the overlay. And what we've done is we've put the chromatic aberration on after the audio visualizer, which is currently set to be in the middle and mirrored. So that means you end up with this look. And then what I've done is we do 1 second at a time, and then we just put all of them together. You'll see them in the demonstration examples. Some of them get false flagged, but I'm trying to get that sorted out. But yeah, there's no like crazy content in any of my demos. So that would be number 1. So that would be we've obviously done RGB shift, speed, and a whole bunch of other stuff with the rest of this video, but the main part is this audio visualizer line. So that's what that one's about. And then again, we put a chromatic aberration on it because we can. The next one is bloom. So what this one does is it puts a bloom on it. There's already chromatic aberration on this video, so it's kind of hard to see what the bloom is doing. But this one is just bloom, so that's an example of that. This one has the chromatic aberration only. Okay, so a couple of these are like standalone to show you how it plugs in. All right, obviously the first part of this is the same as the last one. And what the chromatic aberration does is give you that slight RGB shift without it actually jumping around all over the place. Although it does change with the beat. You can select which parameters actually being used for that. Let's go for a couple of the other basic ones just so that we got to see those. So then we've got glitch, which is again doing RGB shifting with color shift according to the parameter. I'm using RMS energy most of the time with this. Okay. So there you have it. It's literally red, green, blue shifting. And I've bumped it up, the shift amount, to 0.2. So you can really see the difference there. And then we've got the scrubber, which we obviously saw before. That was in a previous workflow pack. Again, that gives us this sort of scrubbing of the music. And then we've got another one called speed, which again, I like this one because it actually brings things in time with the beat. And again, we're using chromatic aberration from a previous render run, but it'll all make sense in a minute as we sort of combine them all. At the moment, we're just using one at a time to keep it simple. So you've got simple examples of how this actually goes together. There was something called GimSync where I've doubled the frame rate with interpolation, but then split off the audio so that it remains in sync. And I still think that it's possible to make this one better, but this was again in a previous pack. So now we start taking a look at some of the combination runs, okay? So this one is going to be chromatic speed and glitch. So again, something you can do is you can put them all together like this. You can have the same feature and feature pipe be running into each of these, and then have the images chained through them. Okay, so just to give you a more clear look of what that is there, you see there's actually it's the image run is going through them all and then into the combine, but they're using the same optional and feature pipe, so you can just literally use the same exact stuff, or you could use different stuff, because obviously it's possible for you to have different audio be triggering all of this stuff. But like I said, this is how I've set these up. So we've got chromatic aberration first, followed by video speed, and then glitch. And then what that gives you is the dancing all together with the audio that's being used. Okay. And then if we then go to the next one, what I've done is I've put bloom in as well. So what I've done is I've added bloom to the end of the same, it's the same one, chromatic, speed, glitch, bloom, right? And so you can't really see the bloom as well as I might like. But the interesting thing about this one is we start to introduce the grid, okay? So essentially what we've done is we've piped all of the sequences into image concatenate multi. We've got 3 going to the right, 3 going to the right, and then take those 2 down, okay? Pretty simple. And then you end up with this grid of 6. All right, again, they're 1 second clips, which makes it easy to make much longer videos. All you have to do is just batch up the number of seconds that you want the animation to run for, and then put them all together in a video editor. It's pretty simple. And then finally, we've got smoothing. I think smoothing actually helps a lot. So smoothing is something you put at the very end of your pipeline. So here we have our feature pipeline. That's the flex pipeline by Ryan on the inside. And then what we've done is we've added in the feature mod smoothing. You can obviously play around with these values to your heart's content. I was happy with the result that I was getting from RMS, so I just went with that. And essentially what you do when you plug it in is you put the feature will go into opt feature for all of the flex modules that you're running on your workflow. And it'll just smooth the animation, because it does get a bit jittery sometimes with certain types of audio. And so then you end up with this. Okay. And what we're using here is the same as what you've just previously been looking at, which was chromatic aberration, speed, glitch, and bloom. And again, it was being thrown into a grid again. Okay, so let me just see if there's any that I've missed. I think that's all of them now. The only thing that I did after this point, if I just go back to the last one so that you can actually see it. What I did is I then took this video, yeah, and I put it back through again into another grid, but it did require that I did a bit of cropping and resizing, because obviously this isn't square, and the modules require sometimes for it to be square. It doesn't always like it when you're not using even. Although I think it was just the warp module. I couldn't get the warp module to work. So there'll probably be another update in the future where we'll show how that works. But essentially, that's how I made the really big grid. Okay? Just basically by chopping it up and feeding it back into itself again on 3 by 3, which is obviously 2 down. So that's how I did that. Again, that's just a demo that I've already showed you. I don't know why they're false flagging for some reason, but there they are. So there it is. That's the update on the Roda Reactive Audio Pack. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more on this, because I've already got some workflows I'm working on which are using more of Ryan's audio reactive nodes. So look out for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.